Alrighty, guys, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to yet again another live stream, my friends. Welcome. What was that? Welcome to the first official live stream of 2025, my friends. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's see who we got here for today before we dive on into it. We have Evan, we have Mark, we have Camo. We have ourselves Raka, we have Divinely, we have Jaden, we have KXN, we have Sadie, we have Jamie, we have Roadster Jim, Jaden, Ryan, Becca, Velocity, and Ponderosa. Of course, everybody else who is here but not chatting. Welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's having a great day. Good start to the new year. Hopefully everyone's doing well. So I need to get rid of this because we have 364 more days to go before that comes up again. But anyways, folks, we got ourselves another storm that we've been watching. For the people who have not been paying attention to the weather, we have a storm that we're paying attention to. We've been tracking it since last year, man. I tell you what. Accuracy's gotten crazy now. I mean, we've been tracking for this storm since last year. Enough with the New Year jokes. But anyways, folks, hope everyone's doing good. But yeah, we are watching a storm here. Now, this could be a big problem. This storm, we are talking potential of heavy ice, which we really haven't seen much last year, or towards the end of last year. We really didn't see much ice. This could be like the first main ice event, unfortunately. As well as it really could be driving a lot of snowfall along with it. Now, officially, we do have now a risk for severe weather overall that we are going to be talking about. Well, first of all, my friends, let's go ahead and jump our way into models here. We actually have a new run of GFS coming through. So, first of all, let's go ahead and hop on over here, my friends, to the GFS. So, this is the latest run. Actually, we're going to backtrack to the 18 Zulu because that run's just now coming through. It's not necessarily done. So, here's where things really start to take off. So as we work our way into right around the 5th, pretty much the early 5th here, that's when things really start to kind of kick off here. This event's going to kind of start throughout portions of the Central Plains, out here towards the central United States. We are going to start to see a bit of snow, a bit of rain, and you can kind of see this little area here, according to GFS, of some ice starting to kick off regarding to sleet and freezing rain starting off here for the morning of the 5th. That is when things are going to start to kind of pop off here overall. Now, we continue to work our way down in time as we kind of approach our way towards right around, the afternoon, kind of the evening here of the 5th. That is where things are going to really start to pop off here in general. And at this time period, you can actually see, pretty good amount of snowfall likely going across portions here of the Midwest throughout the morning of the 5th, kicking off out here towards the Ohio Valley kind of for the evening and kind of the pretty much the late portion here of the 5th going into the early 6th. Now, according to the GFS, in the latest model that we do have here, you can see that there's going to be the potential of a lot of ice out here towards areas like potentially southern Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana. Kentucky, as of right now, kind of seems to be where most of that ice is likely going to end up. So to my fellow Kentuckians out there, heads up to you guys because this could be a very problematic storm for y'all regarding ice. I mean, ice accumulations and ice impacts are significantly worse than actual snowfall because, even a little bit of ice can cause a very big problem with travel. So we're going to really need to look out for that. We will take a brief look at the accumulations here in a few minutes, but let you know that it's still a little bit early to tell regarding to the exact amount of accumulations of both ice and snow we can see right now, but we will start to look at the accumulations tonight, although I will say tonight, do not take them too seriously. Anyway, so then we work our way down even further in the time for the morning of the 6th. Now, the snow here, as well as the ice, will possibly roll its way up here towards the mid-Atlantic, according to the GFS here, the latest GFS, or the latest full run of the GFS here, you can see, and possibly a bit of ice, sleet, freezing rain falling across areas like southern Virginia, while central northern Virginia possibly even seeing some heavy snowfall. Pretty good amount of snowfall is possible, possibly right around 3 to 5 inches that you're going to see when we look at the accumulations and stuff out there, but really could be picking up quite a bit. So then the storm kind of rolls out here for pretty much the afternoon of the 6th. So it's mostly going to be happening starting the early 5th, go through the 5th, and pretty much work its way out here pretty much by the pretty much by the afternoon, late morning of the late morning, early afternoon here of the 6th overall, according to this model. Now let's go ahead and hop over here to Euro here regarding the European model. We'll see what that one's all about. Let's see here. What's up, Becca? What's up, Kyle? What's up, Velocity? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Crystal, Jamie, Sadie? Let's see here. Louisville, Kentucky here. Feels like that line of ice and snow keeps shifting. And it likely will for the next couple of days because, we're still not 100% sure exactly where that winter battle zone is going to be on this storm here. As you said, the models have been kind of fluctuating a little bit, and they're likely going to continue doing that until we reach the event itself. Once that event really kicks off, and we should have a pretty good understanding of where that ice is going to fully be. There is still a bit of uncertainty, but at this point in time, there's been enough consistency in the models for the last several days to really show us, we're going to be dealing with quite a significant ice event, as well as a lot of heavy snow, and now actually severe weather. We'll get to the SPC here in a minute because we do have a risk out there now. But anyway, so here's the Euro. Once again, same thing. This system kind of really starts popping off here for pretty much the late 4th, going into pretty much the really early 5th. The beginning of the 5th here is when things start to pop off. So as we work our way in towards the morning here, kind of the later morning here of pretty much early afternoon, later morning, early afternoon, here for the 5th, we really start to pick up quite a bit of snowfall. Out there kind of towards the central plains, towards like Nebraska, towards like Kansas, and a heck of a lot of snowfall out there towards areas of the Midwest like Missouri, possibly out there by like Iowa, and even the Ohio Valley likely seeing a bit of heavy snow at this point in time for the late, pretty much the morning going into the afternoon. Now, once again, the other model we looked at was the American GFS. This is the European ECMWF, in which you can also see, once again, Euro suggesting that ice out there towards areas like, Missouri, maybe even towards St. Louis, a little bit higher up north, I think, on this model. Areas out here towards like southern Illinois, maybe a little bit of southern Indiana here dealing with a bit of ice. And once again, Kentucky kind of seems to be where a lot of that ice potential could really roll through. So then we pop our way here basically into the evening of the 5th, going into pretty much the morning here of the 6th, and that ice does work its way through Kentucky. So as of right now, both the American GFS long-range model and also the the European ECMWF model do suggest that that ice line will be out there possibly towards Kentucky. So it does look like Kentucky might really be in store for a bit of an ice event here. So to my folks who know anybody who lives in Kentucky, honestly, really the central northern side seems to be kind of where it's at now. Should honestly really look out there for that. And then, of course, yet again, as we work our way here basically into the late 5th, working our way into the morning of the 6th, all of that snow and precipitation works its way up here towards the mid-Atlantic, possibly snowing out there towards like Virginia, possibly Maryland, some of those areas that are kind of overdue for a pretty good storm. This storm, could be a decent snowmaker for you guys. Honestly, I think it is a possibility. So just heads up to my mid-Atlantic folks out there. And something that you guys have probably noticed around this time here as well, as you can see, this long line of potential thunderstorms. Now, we do have ourselves an SPC risk, Storm Prediction Center risk out there here coming up here soon. So let's go ahead and bring you guys over to this real quickly. We are going to go ahead and show you guys the active risk here. So this is for day 5, which day 5 here, you know what? We're just going to do this here. Here, let me go ahead and bring you all over here to this main page, and we'll go ahead and show you guys the active risk that we do have. So this is for Sunday. Here on Sunday, we do have ourselves a risk for severe weather out here towards Louisiana, southern Arkansas, a little bit of western Mississippi, and eastern Texas. So if you guys know anybody, or if you are in the yellow here, this is an active severe weather threat for Sunday. Okay, which that is the 5th. That is the day that the storm kind of does roll through. So a bit of a heads up there for you guys here for the 5th. For Sunday, we are going to be in an active severe weather threat overall. So we'll definitely need to look out there for that. We'll definitely be paying attention to that, as that long line of storms really does kind of develop here according to the models. Both GFS as well as like the Euro, really does suggest that overall. So And you can kind of see that long line there, according to Euro, really popping off here for pretty much the evening here of pretty much the 5th here for that Sunday commute overall. So, anyways, but yeah, so that's that. Really also driving a lot of ice throughout Kentucky, according to the ECMWF model. Now, there is another model I do want to show you guys real quickly. This is the GDPS, which is the Canadian model. Now, honestly, according to the Canadian model, there's really not a whole lot of differences. As you can kind of tell, everything starts really popping off here for pretty much the 5th. Rolls through the morning, afternoon. It really picks up around late morning into the early afternoon there with, you can see a lot of potential ice throughout areas like Missouri, Illinois, southern side, and once again, even Kentucky, possibly seeing a good amount of freezing rain and sleet out there. So that is something that we really do need to highly take into consideration here, is that, all of the models, all the main models that we were looking at there, GFS, ECMWF Euro, and now the GDPS Canadian model, we are seeing here that there is a lot of consistency. There is a lot of consistency here, which is good. I mean, in terms of, letting us know early ahead of time what we can expect, but bad in the fact that it looks like a pretty decent storm overall. But yeah, once again, you can really see that long streak of, freezing rain and some sleet, which would just really cause a lot of ice to be falling out there towards areas like Kentucky, which that is definitely something that we do need to look at overall. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. Overall, we'll definitely be, giving you guys more updates and everything like that. And, once again, if you guys have any questions or anything like that throughout this live stream, I'm going to try my best to get to them for you. Anyways, all right, y'all, let's see here. We're going to hop over back to our main page here. Oh my gosh. Is that Michelle coming in with a $20 super chat? Thank you so much, saying Happy New Year from Northeast Ohio. Let's see here. In Lake County, and the Lake Erie snow machine has been activated. I tell you what, man. Well, first, Michelle, thank you so much for the 20. I really appreciate that. That is really, really sweet of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. That is very, very sweet of you. And, yeah, unfortunately, we do have that bit of activity starting to roll through. And this is actually the future models from, or the future model here from the HRRR, as you can see. We've already seen those lake effect snow generators already started. And, as we continue to see a lot of cooler air continually roll its way down into the country here, we're going to continue to see more of that, unfortunately. But once again, Michelle, thank you seriously so much. That is just greatly, greatly appreciated. I really want to say just thank you for your support. That helps us out a ton. And that really means a lot to me. So thank you so much for that. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get to some other questions here. Let's see here. Big slight risk in Sunday, maybe the first tornadoes of 2025. I hope not, Joshua. But unfortunately, yeah, it can't be ruled out, I don't think. We're going to still have to see a little bit, though. I really want to see more of the mid-range models. Like, once we really start getting, like, a hold of NAM and, like, the HRRR and stuff, whenever we do get closer to the event, that is when I'm going to really start breaking that severe weather down. But, for right now, it's still just a little bit far out here. So it's still just a little bit far out there. But anyways, let's see. Crystal, thank you for the $1. Appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for your support as well. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your help, guys. Seriously, it means the world to me. Let's actually hop over here real quickly to the models real quickly again. On a different page, I do want to show you. I kind of want to look at the severe weather real quickly, just to kind of see what's set up, what things are looking like right now. Because, yesterday, whenever we ended up looking at this here, the models like the GFS really did suggest quite a strong lower level jet associated with this system. So basically, the lower level winds are really strong, which can be a problem, especially for like tornadic development and stuff. So this is the latest full run of the the latest full run of the GFS that we do have. This is the 18 Zulu run. And so, yeah, we can see once we approach our way towards the afternoon, evening here of the 5th, according to the GFS, the American model, we do have a lot of that instability, a lot of that fuel for thunderstorm activity really starting to build in to some of those areas that are actively in that severe weather risk that we talked about. So we have like areas of Mississippi, areas of Louisiana, little bits of Arkansas, little bits of Texas here. So this is for right around the evening of the afternoon, evening here of the 5th, which the 5th is going to be the main day with this system here. You know, we're still a couple days out, but we're getting a little bit closer. So we should really start seeing the models kind of really sight down on this system here soon. Anyways, but yeah, so there's enough instability to allow for, some storms and perhaps some severe weather. But, like we mentioned in the past here, the long-range models I've noticed typically tend to underdo the amount of instability that there is upon arrival of the severe weather event. That's why I was saying I really just want to kind of watch and see what the NAM and some of those mid and short range models start to really show us once the event gets closer. So we'll definitely keep an eye out there for that. Anyways, our lower level winds here, we got a pretty strong lower level jet. So basically our lower level winds about 4,000 or 5,000 feet up or so, 850 millibar level heights. We have some pretty strong nor'easterlies here. So that lower level component perhaps could even be a concern for tornadic activity, unfortunately. So if you have really strong amplified lower level winds, that especially turn as you go up in altitude, as you can see here, we do. These are our mid-level winds here, and you can see how the wind direction has changed, how we've gone from the upper level winds are going relatively mostly to the east, while the lower level winds, as you can see, are mostly kind of going a little bit more to the northeast. So that change in wind direction and that increase in wind speed over altitude gives you a rotating atmosphere, which can be a bit problematic. And like we mentioned, as there is going to be some instability over the area here, and a fair amount of moisture too, indicated in mid-60 dew points. Pretty good for moisture supply of the storm. It looks decent. It looks like a decent setup. So we're going to definitely look out for severe weather once again, guys, for Sunday. Sunday's going to be the big day overall. And once again, I'll go ahead and bring this up here for you guys real quickly. Let's hop you guys back over to this page. I'll go ahead and show you guys the SPC outlook real quickly. And then we're going to hop our way into the accumulations and stuff like that. But like I mentioned, it's still a little early to be for sure on the accumulations, but I just kind of want to show you guys where the models are at right now, but just know they're likely going to change. But anyway, so yeah, SPC, this is the latest outlook that we do have for Sunday the 5th. Once again, if you're in the yellow, if you know anybody in the yellow here, you're at risk for potential severe weather. Once again, we do have eastern Texas, a little bit of eastern Texas included, including the Beaumont, Texas area, and the Longview, Texas area is inside of the risk here for Sunday, as well as portions out there towards like central northern Louisiana, including Shreveport, as well as Lake Charles. You guys are inside of the risk area. We have like southern Arkansas in that risk area, and areas like western Mississippi, towards like Jackson, Mississippi is included in this risk here for Sunday. So I just want to give you guys, once again, a little bit of a heads up there, as we are seeing also severe weather with this system. This is going to be quite an active system from what it looks like. Everything's on the risk here, or everything's on the list here, I should say. Potential severe weather, or I should say severe weather at this point, potential tornadic activity we'll have to look out for. Definitely, I think damaging winds would be a concern. I don't know about hail quite yet. Between severe weather aspect and then you got the ice side of the storm, it's just going to be a pretty active system here. It's definitely, we want you guys to be weather aware out there. Double Rose says, "Hey Andrew, how is Indiana going to be and doing? And will Washington State be affected?" So Washington State will not. This is mostly going to be affecting the Central Plains, Midwest, and the Ohio Valley, also the Mid-Atlantic, for a lot of this portion, of the country here. Pacific Northwest will not be impacted by this system as much. Now, with that being said, overall, whenever it does come to you said Indiana, right? So Indiana, we do need to look out for Indiana. Let's go and hop you guys back over here. Because Indiana could be in for a bit of winter weather. It really depends. We're still kind of trying to work that out, where the ice and stuff like that's going to be. But there is a possibility that areas like southern Indiana could be dealing with a bit of ice. We'll have to look out there for that. Even a bit of snowfall. That's the Canadian model that suggests that. Then, of course, you got like the GFS, which is the American model here, in which the GFS, once again, also does support some like snowfall and stuff like that, a little bit less on the ice accumulations and everything like that. And then, of course, you got your European model, the ECMWF, which Euro shows kind of the most amount of ice for Indiana, a little bit of ice in like southern Indiana being possible. But, hey, I mean, I tell you what, especially to my folks out there towards like Kentucky and stuff, I think that's kind of where a lot of that main ice seems to be most likely, overall. So we're gonna definitely need to be paying attention. If you guys know anybody who lives out there by like Kentucky, like southern Illinois, southern Indiana, just give them a heads up, because the areas with the ice really, really need to be paying attention, because ice is very, very impactful. So here's what we're going to do. Now, before we get on into this, I want to go ahead and give you all a heavy disclaimer. It is still a little early to look at the accumulations. So what you're going to see here is likely not going to be lining up to what we actually get 100%. I just want to kind of look at the accumulations tonight to show you guys kind of where the models are at right now. And obviously, whenever it comes to it, just to kind of compare tomorrow and the following days as we continue to track this system. So we're going to start off here with the GFS. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the accumulations on both the snowfall and the ice. Okay, but once again, please just know, as a bit of a heavy disclaimer, this is not going to be very accurate, more than likely. But let's just take a look at it anyways. All right. So, actually, we're going to start off here with the Ohio Valley, just kind of work our way over to this portion of the country. So, in terms of the GFS here, GFS suggests a pretty decent amount of snowfall. As you can kind of see here, a pretty heavy streak of snowfall. Let's actually hop to the latest. That was the 12 Zulu. Let's hop to the 18 Zulu here. You can actually see there is a bit of a difference here just between those two models there. But yeah, according to the GFS, the 18 Zulu here, it does show a pretty nasty streak of snowfall working its way throughout, like Missouri, like southern Illinois, southern Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia. I mean, shoot, you guys really seeing a pretty good amount of snowfall. And in this kind of maroon color that you see here, this is where kind of we reach right around a foot or so of snowfall. Remember, please don't take these too serious right now. It still is a little early, okay? And also, this is just one model and stuff like that as well. But I just wanted to go ahead and really let you guys know overall. So then we have the freezing rain accumulation here too. This, once again, is one model. But yeah, I tell you what, man, it is really aggressive, though, with the ice. I mean, some areas here, well over a half an inch of ice is way more than enough to cause issues. And according to the model, we perhaps possibly get a little bit higher, maybe locally up to an inch or so. I'm not sure how much I believe that right now. Once again, we shouldn't take this too serious at the moment, because once again, it is still a little too early, okay? But, GFS here really showing quite a bit of heavy ice accumulations. Big old streak throughout areas of like eastern Kansas, southern Missouri, straight through Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Indiana. A little bit of Tennessee might get some ice too, according to GFS. A little bit of southern West Virginia and a bit of southwestern and southern Virginia. Maybe even a little bit along the upper elevations here of like North Carolina. And then, of course, we now work our way into the Euro, which is the ECMWF. Now, I don't have access to the accumulations for ice for this model. But we do have access to the GDPS. I just don't have the subscription to this platform here, so I don't really have that. But anyways, according to the Euro, there is a huge difference regarding how much snow and where the snow is going to be. And that's exactly why I was telling you guys, please do not trust, fully how much snow that is shown here. because as you can see, there is a big difference between the GFS American model and this European model here. There is a really, really big difference, as you guys can tell. So, according to the Euro here, as you can see, still a fair amount of snow, though. Seriously, still a pretty good amount of snow out here across the way. Still some pockets here, possibly up of a foot or so, maybe out there towards Kansas, portions of like West Virginia and whatnot. But yeah, kind of this pinkish purple streak here is pretty much anywhere from like, I don't know, let's say like 6 to pretty much 10 inches of snow, but like 6 to 10 inches across the pinkish color you guys can kind of see here overall. So yeah, in this pink area, about 6 to 10 inches, and the darker blue, kind of right around that 3-inch mark or so. So yeah, once again, just don't take that too serious right now. It's still, once again, it's very early to tell. Then lastly, we have the GDPS model, which is the Canadian model here overall. In regards to the accumulation here, really not a whole lot different than what the Euro was suggesting here, right? So, the GFS was kind of off the walls there, as you guys could see with our latest run that we do have available to us. Showing a lot more accumulation and potentially further south, according to GFS. Now, the GDPS, which is what we're looking at now, which is the Canadian model, that pink area here, once again, kind of showing around 6 to 10 inches or so out there. And you can see, a fair amount of areas could see that, throughout portions of like, Kansas, possibly areas out there towards Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, portions of Kentucky, West Virginia. Even according to GDPS here, areas up there in the upper elevations of like West Virginia could really see quite a bit of snowfall. Still not final, but it's possible. So keep an eye out there for that. And then lastly, we do have our overall freezing rain accumulations and stuff like that. Once again, this is also a little early to look at as well, but wow. that's all I can really say. It's just wow, man. This model also, like the GFS was, really, really aggressive on that freezing rain accumulation here. We're upwards of a half an inch to an inch of ice throughout portions of like Kentucky, out there towards like, half an inch to 3/4 of an inch towards areas like Missouri, West Virginia, like southern Illinois, southern Indiana. Still not final, but it looks like it's going to, even a little bit of ice. A couple tenths of an inch is enough to cause issues. And yeah, this amount of ice is a pure ice storm, which if this really did happen, it would be catastrophic. It would be terrible. So I really want you guys to prep for this. If you live in the regions here throughout like Kentucky, just be ready for an ice storm. Make sure your snow generators can start. That's your homework here. Before the storm hits, I need you guys to make sure that your did I say snow generators? Snow blowers, make sure they work. Your generators too, actually, would be good to make sure they work as well. Yeah, so get your snow blowers working, get your generators up and running. Just make sure all that's topped off with gas. Make sure you change the oil if they need to be, especially if they've been sitting around for a while. Want to make sure that you get that up to maintenance. So yeah, stuff like that you guys really need to be looking out there for, because we could have a lot of ice, which will likely have a lot of ice, a lot of snow, and once again even a little bit of severe weather here as well is in the forecast. And as you can see, once again, SPC, they did put a 15% risk for that day of severe weather here throughout eastern Texas, portions here of like central northern portion of Louisiana, like western Mississippi and southern Arkansas. So just please be careful out there. As of now, they have potential too low, meaning that, the potential for severe weather is too low here for Saturday, so we don't got to worry about nothing Saturday. Sunday is the day we were talking about, which that's the day of all the ice and everything like that as well. A lot of ice, snow, severe weather happening here for Sunday. And then, of course, going into Monday, you notice how it goes from potential too low for Saturday to predictability too low for Monday. Predictability too low doesn't mean that there's no potential for severe weather. It just means it's a little harder to predict right now. It's too early to say. It's a little hard to say right now. So we'll have to see about Monday. It depends on what the storm's doing, where that storm is at. As we may or may not have a continuation of severe weather into Monday for probably somewhere in the far east. We'll have to look out and see. But for now, Sunday for sure is definitely going to be a day that we do have active severe weather overall. So please be careful. Now, another thing I do want to bring y'all's attention to, man, I tell you what, it's just one thing after another, man. We have, let's list it. I mean, we have severe weather going on with this event. We have snow. We have ice. We got severe weather. Did I already mention that? Well, we got severe weather too. So, all of this mess. And on top of that, I'm sure you guys have probably been hearing in the news that we have a polar vortex coming. That's because of this system here. So this system's really going to be wrapping up that air. Let's go and bring you all back over to models here. So yeah, this system here is going to be really, really wrapping in all that cold air from up north. These low pressure systems, they spin counterclockwise, in which, in the northern hemisphere anyways, which we're in. But yeah, they spin counterclockwise, which drags a lot of cold air down and it pulls a lot of warmer air up. So you got that cold front, the warmer air is going up ahead of it, the cooler air is coming in from behind, which can create a bit of instability and severe weather. But yeah, no, the cold air is going to be no joke on this system here. Let's actually take a look at that real quickly. I do want to show you guys the temperatures, and then we'll show you all like the the feel like temps and stuff like that. We're going to look at Euro for this, okay? But anyways, so that is that. So here's the Euro. This is what we're looking at regarding the ECMWF. And remember, these are actual temperatures, y'all. This is you're going to be your actual temperature expectancy or possibility, because it still is a couple days out. But look at this, man. So for the morning of the 8th here, according to Euro, you can see where we could be breaching well into the negatives. Possibility for single digits and negative temperatures out here as far south as areas like Missouri, as well as Kansas. I mean, shoot, maybe even like right there at zero, possibly towards areas like Kentucky and out there by like Ohio and whatnot. I mean, we're talking some seriously cold temperatures. Remember, these are your actual temps. These are not your feel like temperatures or anything like that. This is what the temperature will actually be outside. So, as you can imagine, it's pretty darn cold. I mean, look at this. Even in the south, I mean, it's not anything, 0 degrees or, single digits or anything. But for the south, this is actually really cold, too. The Gulf Coast out here, we're right around freezing. That happens, but it doesn't happen very often. Northern Florida here, possibly in the upper 20s. That's pretty cold for Florida, I tell you what. And even in, like, the central peninsula here, I mean, look, we're in the 30s here. Like, I'm here in Central Florida. That is cold for us. That is really cold for us. So this thing's going to really be cooling down. Now, I'm kind of scared to look at the feel-like temps, which we'll look at real quickly. So this is your wind chill. So a lot of people like to put up their wind chill over the actual temperatures because it looks more scarier than it is. But trust me, in this case, the real temperatures are still very scary. But this is what the wind chill looks like. It makes it look a lot cooler. A lot of people like to show that off. But, honestly, though, still, yeah, very, very cold here. This is your feel-like temperatures here, what those temperatures are going to feel like out there towards the Midwest and stuff. I mean, look at this. Negatives, negative 10s or so, possibly up there in the far north, like North Dakota, maybe like northern Minnesota. Look at this. Euro suggesting negative 20, negative 30 degree feel-like temperatures out there. That is really, really cold overall. And, of course, out there by, like, the Ohio Valley, negative 0 or so. Negative single digits, I should say, to, like, negative 10s. Very, very, very cold. And even in the south here, look at this. The teens. Feel-like temperatures in the teens down here. And even, like, Florida, Central Florida out here, feel-like temperature near freezing. Oh, buddy. Even northern Florida, look at that. According to Euro here, feel like temperature is going to be in the 20s, lower 20s, which, wow. That's quite the shock, man, I tell you what. So, yeah, that's another thing we do need to look out there for there overall. Once again, is the temperatures. Not just severe weather, but also the snowfall, the ice accumulations, and the really, really ridiculously cold temperatures that'll be rolling its way along through as well. We're going to really need to look out there for that. Anyways, let's see here. I'm gonna look at some of the chat. Sorry, I haven't been too active in the chat, guys. There's just a lot of things we got to talk about, because this system here, I tell you, man, it's gonna hit us pretty hard. Let's see here. Blake says, awesome channel. Thanks, Blake. I appreciate it, man. Let's see here. Ryan says, could this ice hit northeast Arkansas? It looks to be on the state line. So, like we were talking about a little bit ago here, it still is a little early to fully depict on where that ice is going to be. The latest GFS, which is the American model here, the latest GFS kind of shows, I mean, you're right on that line, the state line between Missouri and Arkansas here. I mean, maybe a little bit of rain, maybe a little bit of a mixture of freezing rain. It just depends. It's still a little hard to say. It's just too close for comfort to really say. The European model here, on the other hand, kind of shows it more just rain. I wouldn't count on it too much right now. I wouldn't completely rule it out, although I'd say it's very unlikely at the moment. Because models, they can shift either a little more north or a little more south. It just depends. A lot of it really comes down to like really how far south that central low goes. If that central low pressure goes pretty low, then that could possibly even bring down the winter weather with it. And bring that nasty stuff a little bit further south. That is possible. So for northeast Arkansas, I would say it's unlikely right now, but still can't be for sure, as we are still a little bit too far out for that to be for sure on that. Let's see, what's up, Pilot? Hope you're doing good. We'll just hit Nashville, Tennessee. So Nashville could be in for some impacts here. Euro, seems like the Euro kind of has Tennessee kind of more in just like cold rain now versus kind of what it was showing yesterday. The GFS here, the American model overall, as you can see, kind of shows, maybe a little bit of ice mixing in for some of those areas out there towards like extreme northern Tennessee and some of those upper elevations maybe. We can't really take these models that serious right now, but it seems less likely of that ice going straight through Tennessee like we were looking at yesterday, and kind of more going straight through like Kentucky. Could it still change? Absolutely. But for now, what the models are suggesting is that that ice kind of just cuts through like Kentucky and stuff. So we'll see. Let's see here. What's Southwest Missouri looking like? So you folks out there, y'all are kind of either right on that top of the cold rain line, or you're kind of near the mixture of that ice. According to GFS here, you're kind of, depends on how far southwest, of course. If you're talking like Joplin area, more than likely it'll probably stay towards rain. But yet again, we'll have to see if that pushes a little further south, or it goes a little bit higher up north, or it stays where it's at. If it stays where it's at, you'll probably mostly just see a lot of cold rain. So yeah, we'll have to just keep an eye on it. Let's see here. What about the eastern part of North Carolina? More than likely, you guys are just going to be sticking with rain. Yeah, it seems like the models have kind of pulled away for some of those areas. That's kind of the latest trend since yesterday. Whenever we were covering this yesterday, the system was a little bit further south. It seems like the newest trend is that all of that precipitation, all of that winter weather is a little bit higher north. So in that case, I mean, it's kind of good because the people down south do not know how to drive in winter weather. I mean, shoot, even the people who are used to the winter weather, ice is no joke, man. Seriously, ice is a huge problem for people who even know how to drive well in winter weather. Nobody can drive in ice, man. I tell you, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let's see here. How likely is the storm to change between now and then? What points do these totals become set in stone? That's a really good question. So, right now, yeah, it is still too early to tell for sure. Now, honestly, typically like the day before the event happens is when you really have everything set in stone. Although I have seen times where, like the day or 2 days before the event, it's relatively accurate. since this event really pops up on the 5th, I wouldn't really start like trusting those totals and everything like that until probably either the late 3rd or the early 4th. Is probably when I'd start really kind of considering your options, like the day before. So pretty much from now until like the 3rd, just continue monitoring it and just seeing if it shifts north or south a little bit here. And, but yeah, the when it really starts to get set in stone and when you really start to see, the official totals and stuff is like usually like the day before overall. But yeah. But, it can still change. It still can change. Models and stuff like that. They ain't perfect after all. But yeah, typically the day before. Let's see here. What about St. Louis? So good question, Sarah. So yeah, St. Louis actually. Here, let's zoom into the Midwest here. We'll do the Ohio Valley view. So St. Louis could be in for a bit of activity here. So you can see the GFS here, the American model suggesting a pretty good amount of snowfall rolling through. As you can kind of see pretty much here for the morning of the 5th. So the 5th is the day where this is going to really, really start popping off and stuff like that. So for St. Louis, yeah, the GFS does suggest a pretty solid amount of snowfall out there. Once again, accumulation is still a little too early to look at. We looked at it earlier, which the GFS was like the most aggressive for your area. Too early to make the call, though. But yeah, mostly just snow according to this model in particular. Then you got like the Euro ECMWF here, which, yeah, Euro here overall suggests possibly actually even a bit of ice. Unlike what the GFS was saying, kind of more of a consistent heavy snowfall. The ECMWF, the European model, kind of shows the more of the ice, potentially like the sleet, a little bit of freezing rain, stuff like that. So that kind of orangish color you see, that's freezing rain, and kind of the purplish color you see, that's your sleet. So it's a little hard to tell, but it does look like you will be potentially impacted by winter weather. At this point in time, it's relatively safe to say that St. Louis would be in for impact here with the system. Now, this is our Canadian model, which the Canadian kind of has you right near that sleet line, near that snow and sleet line there. So we'll have to see. It could be a little bit of a mixture, or it could just be pure snow. We'll have to see. Let's see here. Here, somebody take care of that Weather Central dude. All right, let's see. I'm over winter already. I hear you, man. I hear you. It is literally, winter's not, pretty much. I mean, like I said, winter is pretty much just beginning. And this is like our first main storm overall. Let's see here. But yeah, guys, so let's go ahead and hop our way back over here real quickly. For the people who is just joining. Now, first of all, actually, before we do this again, before we go over everything again, I do want to show you guys the severe weather risk once again. So, unfortunately, with this system here, like we mentioned, with all of that, all of that winter weather, ice, snow, whatever, unfortunately, there's going to be a severe weather side to it as well, there overall. And so once you guys can, what you guys can see here, we do have ourselves like eastern Texas, areas out there towards like central and northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, portions out there towards like western Mississippi. Western Mississippi will be in the risk here for severe weather here for Sunday. So that does include areas like Beaumont, Longview, Texas, areas out there by like Lake Charles, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana. And like western Mississippi, kind of out there towards like Jackson, will be in the risk area here for severe weather on Sunday. So we were looking at the models a little bit ago here for the people who's just joining us, and we were kind of paying attention, just kind of looking and seeing what kind of ingredients will be in place for active severe weather on Sunday. What I was talking about earlier is that it's these long range models like the GFS we're looking at right now. Shows, the long range models aren't necessarily the best to look at severe weather on a relatively, relatively decent scale of things. So basically, the long-range models are not necessarily the best to look at far out for exact parameters, I should say. So the GFS does suggest there being a fair amount of instability, a fair amount of fuel out there, for possible severe weather and stuff. Which includes areas like Mississippi, areas like Louisiana, areas like eastern Texas and stuff like that overall. So we will have to look out for that. We will definitely have to look out there for that. And of course, what I am seeing though, the GFS does show a pretty strong lower level jet there. And with that lower level jet stream and stuff like that being quite strong potentially, if that does hold up to the event here, we could be seeing a fair event ongoing out there. So we'll definitely need to keep an eye out there for that. So, with the strong wind shear, could be potential tornadic activity, damaging winds and stuff like that. We're going to have to look into. And but yeah, the instability's there. The overall wind shear is there as well, and even the moisture too. Fair. We do have ourselves, fair amounts of moisture as well indicated in kind of those mid 60 dew points overall. Yeah, Court, I got you. Hold on. Let me bring up my channel over here. But yeah, so, we'll just wait, like I said, really until we get the mid-range models. Actually, we should have those mid-range models available to us tomorrow, actually. I do think that is something that we're going to have to, that we're going to be able to see tomorrow here overall. Court, it is not letting me do that right now for some reason. Yeah, Court. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's YouTube just being stupid right now. Anyways, but let's see here. But like I mentioned, guys, we're definitely going to be on the active lookout here for, all hazards and stuff like that. So once again, the GFS here overall, what we are looking at right now. So regarding this model of things and everything, we're what the GFS model is suggesting here overall. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and bring up our view over here. Okay, so like we mentioned, this is what the GFS suggesting here. Or what the GFS is suggesting here. So everything's going to really start to pop off here for right around the 5th here in general. So pretty much for the early 5th is when everything's going to start to pop off. And around this time here, we are going to be seeing, a lot of snow starting to develop here overall. So we, around this time is when everything's going to really start popping off here, pretty much for the early 5th in general. A lot of potential ice starting to roll through. Portions like Kansas, possibly out there towards like Missouri, could be dealing with a lot of ice, sleet, freezing rain, and stuff like that here pretty much for the beginning of the 5th. Could be very problematic for folks out there, trying to travel and stuff like that. So then we work our way further down in time. Now, yeah, really the 5th for Sunday is going to be the main day, of the heavy impacts and stuff. In which you can see, possibly even a pretty good amount of ice and stuff like that for folks out there, towards Missouri, working its way into like Illinois throughout the morning and afternoon and stuff. A fair amount of ice out here towards like Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, cutting through like Kentucky and whatnot, working its way even possibly towards the mid-Atlantic, according to the GFS here out there overall. And one thing that you guys can also see here overall is that long line of storms kicks off, which that is going to be your active severe weather threat here. This is going to be for Sunday, pretty much late Sunday. We're going to really have that cold front rolling through, that long line of potential severe weather coming through, which, we looked at here a minute ago, which I'm going to show you guys up again. SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, they do have that active severe weather risk here for eastern Texas, southern Arkansas, portions out there towards like central and northern Louisiana, and like western Mississippi overall. So that's that. As of now, like we mentioned, they don't have anything for Saturday, which, yeah, Saturday's too early. The event really pops off Sunday. But they do have a predictability too low marker here for Monday. Doesn't mean that we will see or won't see severe weather on Monday. It just means it's a little too early to tell right now. So there is no organized risk here for Monday. However, Sunday we do have this area in yellow. So if you know anybody out there across the yellow area, eastern Texas, areas like central, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, like western Mississippi, just giving you all a little bit of a heads up out there. We're thinking tornadoes as well as like I said, damaging winds. Not too sure right now about the hail threat and everything like that, but whenever it does come to it, we're going to have to look out there for possibly, on top of all the ice and the snow, a bit of a severe weather threat overall. Let's see here. Is it set to subscribers only mode? Yeah, so if we have it on everyone, there's a lot of bots that like to join, so I just have it for subscribers only mode. That way we don't have to deal with all those annoying bots. Dude, I had those for the longest time, man. It's crazy. That really did fix it, though. Let's see. Arctic Jet says, hey, coming in, could there be a tornado at that time mixed with snow? It would be really cool to see a tornado-snow mix. Not necessarily. So they're going to be relatively isolated more than likely. I mean, you don't really see snow tornadoes that often. So typically where you have tornadoes, you have more of a warmer environment, where pretty much we have that long line of storms here. The tornadoes will likely be on that line of storms. We call this a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system, just a fancy name for a line of storms. So the tornadoes, if we did have them, would likely be embedded in the line, which makes it kind of concerning because you wouldn't be able to see the tornadoes because they're just wrapped in curtains of rain. We call these rain-wrapped tornadoes, and they typically do happen overall with these lines of storms that do kind of come through the overall. So that is that overall. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. So tornadoes will be a potential concern, like we mentioned. Also, with these lines of storms here, damaging winds and everything like that is something too that we do need to look out for. Let's see here. We are going to go ahead and pull up the Euro because I do kind of want to show you guys here, the comparison in general to that. So, let's see here. Why is my thing being stupid? All right, so yeah, then we have the Euro here, which, pretty much is showing that same thing, just that long line of storms kind of pushing through here. Relatively the same thing. So it does seem pretty confident, in fact that, we could be seeing, all that severe weather and stuff like that coming through. Once again, we are going to have to look out there for tornadoes, and I think damaging winds will be kind of the main concern here. But yeah, so whenever it comes to like the overall snow and the freezing rain and stuff like that, the models, they're not necessarily in full agreement quite yet, but we're getting there. And honestly, whenever it comes to, I really do think that we are going to, really kind of see everything start to get a little bit more together here. Typically right around the day before the event happens, that's when we'll have like pretty high confidence in everything. So, for now, models are still kind of a little bit all over the place here. But we'll have to see. But yeah, so then we have the GFS, like we mentioned here. A lot of ice, a lot of sleet, freezing rain here popping off here for the 5th overall. Throughout portions like Kansas, areas out here towards like Missouri, like southern Illinois, southern Indiana, out here by like Kentucky, and areas out possibly even by the Mid-Atlantic, for some of those upper elevations and stuff. So, the GFS beforehand kind of shows, or the GFS beforehand kind of shown a bit of that, ice accumulations and stuff like that out there towards like Tennessee. While the new GFS here kind of shows, that line possibly even being a bit further to the north, out here towards like Kentucky and whatnot. So there has been a little bit of a bump here. There has been a little bit of a change since the last set of model, or since the last time we analyzed this yesterday overall. So that's kind of where we're standing now with the GFS. Now the Euro, once again, comparing this to the European model and stuff like that. Let's see here. The Euro kind of agrees on that as well here, kind of showing the the line of where all that ice, the sleet, the freezing rain and stuff like that rolling through, also includes areas like mostly like Kentucky, like southern Illinois, southern Indiana, out there towards like central Missouri and whatnot. Once again, everybody, for the people just joining, this is going to be here for Sunday the 5th. This is the day of severe weather. This is going to be the day where the severe weather happens, and that all that winter activity does pop off as well. So, once again, we'll just keep keeping you guys updated on this here throughout the next several days. If y'all haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like, be greatly appreciated, and everything like that. But like we mentioned, it's just we'll keep you guys posted, because this event here is going to be probably quite significant in terms of both winter weather, unfortunately, and potentially severe weather as well. Once again, the GDPS model kind of showing Kentucky now as the main impactful area with the snow, I should say the sleet and the freezing rain and stuff like that, the ice accumulations, because, like we mentioned beforehand, it's like not even... or I should say, even the littlest amount of ice here can cause a big problem. So if you do have a lot of ice, or if you do have a little bit of ice, it can cause a big problem even. And, when we were looking at the models and stuff out there, which we'll go ahead and do real quickly again, we're going to zoom in towards like the Midwest and the Ohio Valley here. So kind of an example of what we could be seeing here. Once again, don't take this too seriously, because it's still a little bit early here to tell for sure. But like the GDPS model, we're talking not little amounts of ice here overall. Not little amounts of ice, but we're talking, some pretty serious amounts. Now, once again, not final, isn't necessarily final here, but we are talking, possibly a half an inch, possibly up to even some local areas up to possibly around an inch or so, according to the GDPS here. Once again, is not necessarily final overall. This is not final. It'll probably take a couple more days before we start to really see things narrow down. But overall, that's kind of what the GDPS is suggesting here. Then we have the, let's see here, the GFS here, which once again, the GFS kind of on a similar path here, showing quite a solid amount of ice here too. Potentially anywhere from a half an inch to about an inch or so of ice overall for some of the similar areas. And what do you know, Kentucky's kind of in the heavy stuff out there overall. So that is that. Let's see here real quickly. I do want to pull up something real quickly. Okay, we're good. But anyways, yeah, so once again, Kentucky, just a bit of a heads up there for y'all, as this thing could be quite an event for you guys. The GFS, the latest GFS we have, actually the 0 Zulu we have now available, which we'll look at here. The GFS, actually, the new GFS that just actually came through, shows those totals. Wow, actually a bit more higher, as you can see. Still, this model, the latest GFS does suggest possibly some local amounts up to about an inch or so being possible. And it kind of looks like that moved a little bit more to the north. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Let's go back to the afternoon run for today. The 12 Zulu from basically the pretty much the late morning. Here's when this came out. So you can see where it had that line of that ice and stuff. We had, about half an inch, not really much local spots up to an inch or so, versus now, looking at the GFS model here, you can see that line is just a little bit further to the north. But, is it going to stay that way? We'll have to see. Models, they do tend to oscillate here, as you do get closer to an event here. They do tend to oscillate quite a bit. So, we'll definitely see all that. But yeah, once again, don't trust those accumulations for what they are. It's still, first of all, is a little bit too early, but it's just shouldn't really trust them quite yet. Even the same with the snowfall and stuff there too. There could be quite a decent amount of snowfall out here. I mean, according to Euro overall, I mean, we do have some pockets, possibly up to about a foot or so. We'll see. But yeah, in terms of accumulations in general, it's just a little too early. But, you know, this is just, I want to look at this just to kind of show you all where the models are at now, and everything like that. Just kind of show you all where the models are at the moment, and with everything like that. But, you know, we'll definitely keep you guys posted with everything. But anyways, folks, well, but yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on there, in terms of everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them down the chat. I'll be more than happy to, let's see here. I'll be more than happy to help y'all out if y'all have any questions. But yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys posted. And so tomorrow, guys, once again, if y'all haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button, y'all. Be greatly appreciated. So yeah, so tomorrow we will also be doing this update here for you guys as well. You know, we'll definitely be keeping you guys up to date with everything. You know, there's, like we mentioned, this is going to be a possible big one. You know, what a way to start off the year, man. I tell you what. Let's see here. Let me do something real quickly, guys. I figured out a way to do this. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Sonia says, thank you, Andrew. No problem. Very, very welcome. Of course, you guys. You know, you guys know we're here for you. We're here to help y'all out. Even during nature's highest and lowest. And you know, like we mentioned here, it's hey, we start a new year, and it looks like we're going to be in for quite a ride, man. Quite a ride. Let's see. Darian says, thank you. No problem, y'all. So, anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and go back here. I do want to kind of hop back to National View real quickly. Let's see here. Maddox says, what is the level of uncertainty for tracking, especially in the Ohio Valley, Louisville area? So the uncertainty right now of, like, you know, knowing what the accumulation is going to be is very uncertain at the moment. However, the overall certainty of the event happening and you getting affected by the event is quite high at the moment. Quite high on being impacted towards the Louisville area, but, you know, still not very confident on exactly how much we're going to be seeing. You know, this event here could be quite a decent impactor for the region, for sure. You know, that way, if you guys know anybody who lives out there towards Kentucky, you know, it would be the best thing just to give them a little bit of a heads up. Just let them know, be like, hey, we got a big old weather event heading up in here. So just be weather aware out there. Hey, I mean, like we mentioned, y'all make sure you have those snow blowers ready to go. You know, your generators ready to go too. You know, all that stuff is something that you need to have ready for this event here for sure. Let's see here. Certainty is more about what type of precipitation. Okay, so you're wanting to know what type of precipitation. Yeah, so uncertainty is quite uncertainty right now for determining exactly what type of precipitation is going to be in the region there is still a bit unknown. Still is a bit unknown. You know, that's because we're still, like, 4 days out or so. There still is a bit of uncertainty in the models, as, you know, they're not perfect. But right as we get to right around the day before the event or so, that's when the uncertainty really dwindles down and we start having a little bit more confidence in the forecast. And like I said, the reason that we're really talking about this now is just to give y'all a heads up, let y'all know. Because, you know, at this point in time, we know there's going to be some heavy impacts regarding, like, winter weather and stuff, you know, and severe weather and everything like that as well. But, you know, with everything like that, you know, we know that there's going to be some heavy impacts, winter weather, severe weather, so we're talking about it. But, you know, down to the preciseness right now, shouldn't be taken super, like, seriously to, you know, what the models are saying. Say, for example, you know, like we were talking about yesterday, you know, Tennessee was in the area for possible ice. Now it's not between the models. Models are still going to fluctuate a bit, so, you know, we can't fully count on ice being for all of Kentucky. You know, and then next thing you know, we have a shift that brings it possibly back down south or a little bit higher north. You know, there is still uncertainty at the moment. But generally speaking, there will be ice with the event, and there will be a lot of heavy impacts with the event overall. See, need this low to go up over Columbus or go to Columbus. Honestly, when it comes to like Ohio and stuff, Southern Ohio will likely get some impacts with this event. Southern Ohio I think could really be impacted here. If you're counting for activity up north for like Northern Ohio, honestly, probably not going to see a lot up there according to some of the models here. And if you do, probably a little bit, not a whole lot overall. Here's the European model, and you can see where that ice is in the orange there, showing your freezing rain. And that kind of purplish color is not much of it, but you can see it. That's your sleet. So you can see that, at this point in time for pretty much the late 5th, this is for the afternoon of the 5th here, you can see that there's, at this point in time, there's a pretty good amount of snow going on. This is whenever everything's going to be popping off here. You got that cold air coming down. You got that long line of storms pulling through. And, all of that ice and everything like that there as well, really rolling through. So that is that. But alrighty, folks. Well, I'm probably going to roll off here. It's getting a little late here. It's almost midnight. So we're going to call it a stream. But, yeah, tomorrow around this time as well, we'll also be doing another live stream for you guys. Keep you guys updated with everything. If y'all haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like. Hey, man, it'll be greatly appreciated. Really, really, I'm thankful for y'all for being here, for hanging out with us and tracking the weather. Bit of a crazy stream tonight, I will say. Ain't gonna lie. But hey, man, I tell you what, tomorrow and the day after, until the day the event happens, we'll continue to be here for y'all and help y'all out overall. But, but once again, everybody, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Let's see here. What about St. Louis snow accumulation? So, yeah, in regards to, St. Louis, how much snow we can see right now, it's still a bit too early for the exact totals. Some of the overall, some of the models suggest kind of a bit of snowfall, just snow, while some of the other models kind of suggest maybe even a bit of ice out there towards St. Louis, which if you can mix some ice in with that can really throw off your snow accumulations and stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, St. Louis area will likely be impacted with this event. It's just a little too early to tell, for what exactly it's going to be overall. Let's see here. But, all right, everybody. Well, thank you all for joining. The stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So if you guys did enjoy the stream, make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button on your way out. It'd be greatly appreciated. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for another update. Once again, we'll be live tomorrow, probably right around a similar time. I might go a little bit later tomorrow night. We'll probably go live maybe around 9 or so, 9 or 10 o'clock or so, a little bit later. So, or kind of like what we did today. But, I appreciate y'all. Once again, thank you, everybody, for joining. I really do appreciate it. Before I head off here, I do want to go ahead and give a thank you, of course, to everybody for joining, and, of course, our supporters here as well. Just want to let y'all know, very, very thankful for y'all. I appreciate y'all very, very much, and everything like that. And once again, we'll keep you guys posted with everything. But yeah, once again, everybody, a big shout out goes to Michelle. Thank you for the $20 earlier. Appreciate your support. Thank you. As well as Crystal, thank you for the support as well. For the people who have donated to us, I want to say a big, big thank you to you, as it is greatly, greatly appreciated. And, once again, it really does help us out. Helps us keep running and everything. So once again, a big shout out goes to Michelle, as well as Crystal for the donations. Once again, thank you all. Greatly appreciate it. We love you guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. Once again, we'll see you guys tomorrow around the same time or so. And all right, everybody, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Leave a like. Greatly appreciated. And see y'all later on. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.